Canon has fine-tuned proven handling and controls in response to user feedback, and delivered a big gain in continuous shooting performance. It also pushes the Nikon D5 all the way for image quality within its standard sensitivity setting. We can expect to see quite a few 1DX IIS at the Olympic Games this summer. 4. Excellent control layout and handling. 4K recording at 60 FPS. Brilliant autofocus system. Against only a small increase in resolution over the 1DX. Limited use of the touchscreen technology. Video mode needs a dedicated quick menu. Summary of Canon EOS-1D X Mark II features. 20.2 megapixel, 5472x3648px, 35mm full-frame Canon CMOS sensor. Extremely fast 14 FPS continuous shooting for up to 170 RAW frames, 16 FPS in live view. 4K 60p and Full HD 120p video with Movie Servo AF via dual-pixel CMOS sensor. 4K frame grab for 8.8 MP still JPEG images from 60 FPS capture. Improved 61-point high-density reticular AF2 with expanded coverage. Up to 61 AF points supported at f/8 max aperture. AF working range down to f-3. Continuous red illumination of up to all AF points within the camera's intelligent viewfinder 2. Improved AI Servo 3 Plus predictive AF algorithm. Dual Digic 6 Plus image processors. ISO 100 to 51200 with expansion down to 50 and up to 409,600. 360,000 pixel RGB and IR metering sensor with enhanced precision and performance. Flicker mode adjusts shutter release timing to avoid flickering light issues. 3.2, 8.11 centimeters, clear view LCD 2, approximate 1,620K LCD with limited touch capability. Customizable quick control screen. Large, bright pentaprism viewfinder with approximate 100% coverage and 0.76x magnification. Dual-axis electronic level with optional dedicated viewfinder display. Built-in GPS. Magnesium alloy body with Canon's most dust and weather-resistant DSLR design. Shutter durability rated up to 400,000 cycles. Distortion correction, diffraction correction, and digital lens optimizer available for infrared aberration correction. Dual memory card slots supporting 1CF, UDMA Mode 7, and 1C Fast 2.0 memory card. Super Speed USB 3.0 for high-speed gathering and image/movie transfer, Gigabit Ethernet support. New wireless file transmitter WFDEA. New LPE19 batter pack with LPE4 and an LPE4 compatibility. Lab test, resolution. We chose 3 rival cameras for the Canon EOS-1DX MK2 to see how it measured up in our lab tests. Its predecessor, the EOS-1DX, the Nikon D4S and the 1DX MKI's closest competitor, the Nikon D5. We've carried out lab tests on the 1DX MK2 across its full ISO range for resolution, noise, including signal-to-noise ratio, and dynamic range. We test the JPEGs shot by the camera, but we also check the performance with RAW files. Most enthusiasts and pros prefer to shoot RAW, and the results can often be quite different. JPEG resolution analysis. The 1DX MK2 falls behind the D5 for resolution at the higher sensitivity values, confirming our real-world findings that the Nikon camera produces sharper images straight from the camera. RAW, converted to TIFF, resolution analysis. The 1DX MKI's RAW files follow the same pattern as the JPEGs, indicating that it's a step up from the 1DX for detail resolution, but doesn't quite match the D5 at some sensitivity. Lab test, dynamic range. Dynamic range is a measure of the range of tones the sensor can capture. Cameras with low dynamic range will often show blown highlights or blocked-in shadows. This test is carried out in controlled conditions using DxO hardware and analysis tools. We use DxO Analyzer to measure noise and dynamic range in controlled laboratory conditions. JPEG dynamic range analysis. The D5 has the upper hand for much of sensitivity range, but this is as much about how the two companies want their cameras' JPEGs to appear as it is about dynamic range. The Canon files have a little more contrast, which means their dynamic range is likely to be lower, but they may be more appealing without any post-capture editing. RAW, converted to TIFF, dynamic range analysis. The raw file results appear to confirm our comments about the JPEG scores, as the 1DX MK2 achieves a better score for much of the sensitivity range. This means that for the lower sensitivity values at least, the Canon camera captures a broader range of tones. Lab test: signal-to-noise ratio. This is a test of the camera's noise levels. The higher the signal-to-noise ratio, the greater the difference in strength between the real image data and random background noise, so the cleaner the image will look. The higher the signal-to-noise ratio, the better. JPEG signal-to-noise ratio analysis: the 1DX MK2 leads the way for the low to mid sensitivity settings, but the D5 shows its low light pedigree from around ISO 25,600 and pushes ahead, indicating that its images are a little cleaner. RAW, converted to TIFF, signal-to-noise ratio analysis. This chart shows that the 1DX MK2 performs well in our lab, beating the Nikon D5 throughout the Canon's sensitivity range. However, real-world shooting shows it's a very close run race. Just like its predecessor, the Canon EOS-1DX MK2 looks and feels like a modern camera that's designed for use by professional photographers who need a camera they can rely on, even in bad weather. These users will also appreciate the fact that little of the control layout has changed from the 1DX, so they can transition painlessly to the new camera. The 1DXi's intended market of professional news and sports photographers understand the balance that's required between pixel count and pixel size. Current technology deems that 20.2 million pixels on a full-frame sensor enables the pixels to be made large enough to keep noise levels within acceptable limits at high sensitivity settings, while still producing an image large enough to make full-bleed double-page spreads for print. It's clear that Canon has put a lot of thought into the 1DX Mark II, along with some very powerful technology. Image quality is aided by refinements such as putting the A/D converter on the sensor, to reduce the amount of circuitry the image signal must travel along before being converted to a digital signal. Comparing high-sensitivity images taken in identical conditions with the Nikon D5 and Canon EOS-1DX MK2 reveals that the Nikon camera has slightly better control over noise. However, there's not much in it, and I would avoid using either model at ISO 409,600, or higher in the case of the D5. We liked. Canon got the handling pretty much spot on with the original 1DX, and all the physical controls are within equally easy reach on the MK2. The controls accessible when the vertical grip is in use particularly impress. There's no need to remember to reach to a different area to change the autofocus point, for example. It's good to see dual pixel CMOS 8F technology for faster, smoother live view and video autofocus. And it's nice that touchscreens are being taken more seriously, with both Canon and Nikon putting them on their top-end SLRs, even if their use is rather limited. The addition of 4K video capability was to be expected in the 1DX MK2, but the ability to shoot at that resolution at frame rates up to 60 FPS is a bonus. We disliked. While the layout of the physical controls on the 1DX MK2 was very good, some aspects of the menu system could be improved. It's great that the quick menu is customizable, but it would be even better if you could set up two versions, one for still shooting and the other for video, to enable quick access to the control options that are most relevant to the shooting mode. I'd also like to see touch control extended to make the menus quicker to use. Final verdict. With the EOS-1DX MK2, Canon has created a powerful and versatile camera that's a great choice for professional sport and news photographers. It doesn't have the outrageous sensitivity range of the Nikon D5, but it's very capable in low light, delivering excellent images within its standard sensitivity range. Its autofocus system is also phenomenal, getting moving subjects sharp even in very gloomy conditions. While it may not be a dedicated video camera, it does a great job with video, and its video autofocus system is capable of operating smoothly for professional-looking footage. Few can fail to be impressed by the quality of the screen, although some may wish for a little more touch control than it offers.